Now, when we go with this allotment, we are supposed to follow the 7 steps. The first step is all about the application form. We know that membership of a company after purchasing shares is nothing but a contract. Now, the section 68A that states that any person who makes in a fictitious name, it is in the hands of directors whether they will charge it for the shareholders or they can go for waive off. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students here. Now here in this session, I'm going to explain you about 3 concepts. The first concept is allotment of shares. In the last session, I told you what exactly and how we are supposed to go for the issues of shares. Now, when we go with this allotment, we are supposed to follow the 7 steps. The first step is all about the application form. Now, what our application form is, how it will be, what is that you are supposed to do, I'll explain you in the application form. Second, you have is offer and acceptance. So, the same way, there is a person who's going to offer for you. If you accept it, what exactly it happens? So, the company will go for the face value of the shares, and if you accept it, if you place an order, then what happens is you will be getting those shares. Third is conditions, that is what is there in the offer and the acceptance for offer. So what exactly they'll go with it, then proper authority you should have, then reasonable time and fictitious name. Now if any kind of a fictitious name is there, what is the punishment? I'll tell you, it is like 5 years that person will be in the jail. That is what the fictitious if is found. The last one is revocation of application. If any kind of a thing is there, you can go for a revocation of the application. So from the first to the last, I'll explain you. The first one here is all about the application form. When you go with application form, a prospectus is an invitation. A prospectus is what? It's an invitation to the public to purchase shares. So the first thing is you will actually give the prospectus. In prospectus, each and every data will be given. What is the company and all about, and people, if they like it, they actually come and they go for the purchasing of share. Naturally, the intended purchases has to apply a prescribed form that is given in the prospectus for the purpose which is known as application form. So in the prospectus, it will be given. Needless to mention that the prospectus fixes the time when the application will be opened and the allotment will be made. Letter of allotment should be sent to the applicant of shares after the allotment is made. So this is the first step. After that, what happens is we are supposed to know about the offer and acceptance. When we go with this offer and acceptance, please understand, we know that membership of a company after purchasing shares is nothing but a contract. The application form which is given by the member is the offer, and allotment by directors is the acceptance of that offer. And similarly, the notice of acceptance which is sent is the acceptance of the offer. So the entire process happens. Say example, you have a company, you have a person. Now what has happened is, firstly, if we go with it, the application form which is given by the member. Now the company have given the application form, right, by the member. That is called what? Now offer is done. Now this offer we have gone, okay, and allotment by directors is the acceptance. Now the directors have already allotted for this, that is acceptance is done, and the notice of acceptance which is sent is the acceptance of the offer. Now here acceptance is also done. Now what happens is this person will actually go and he'll buy it. So this is what the thing is. After that, you need to understand that when we go with this, that is, there should be condition, that is offer and acceptance for offer. So there should be a consideration kind of a thing. Usually the conditions are printed in the application form Example, in case of oversubscription of shares, shares will be allotted on pro rata basis. Now, pro rata in the sense proportional basis, etc. Condition for acceptance is practically invalid. Now, when you go with it, sometimes here what happens is shares will be allotted, many people will actually come, so oversubscription is there. Now what happens is, how much is the shares, only that much you are supposed to give it. Now what happens is, if there are too many shareholders, we can't actually have those many shares, isn't it? And they would have gone for 100, some would have gone for 10, some would have gone for 1 lakh shares, some would have gone for 50,000 shares. Now what happens is, how much shares you can actually go with it, only those many shares you will actually go. So the allotment will be in the basis of pro rata, that is proportional kind of a thing. So the next one here we have is proper authority. Now what is this proper authority? The proper authority means it should be remembered that allotment of shares should always be made by the proper authority. Example, by the board of directors. So who is the authority? Board of directors. Can anybody else, can he be the authority? Yes, only when you go with the articles, if you can modify that, then definitely they can go with it. An allotment made without proper authority is void. It is what? It is void. That means it is not proper, it can be cancelled. Although allotment can be delegated, now please understand the word delegated. Delegated means transfer of authority and responsibility. That is called delegation. Now delegated to some person, if the articles so provided, then you can go with it. Or else what happens is, the board of directors should be there when they go for the allotment. If anybody else does it, in their absence of board of director, you are supposed to check whether there is some delegation of power is already given to them or not, whether it is mentioned in the articles or not. Next one we have is reasonable time. Now understand why time is a constraint, why time should be managed. After receiving the application form, the allotment should be made as soon as possible by the directors within a reasonable time. Now I have given you in the previous sessions, that is what exactly the time is. Now you are supposed to go and check in the sessions, that is public company and the private company have given you. They are supposed to go to the ROC. ROC will give some stipulated time, that is a reasonable time. On that time itself, you are supposed to go for the purchase. Otherwise, application for offer will be revoked. Now it will be revoked if such reasonable time expires. So time is a very good tool here, plus it has a constraint. So you are supposed to get it registered before the time is there, or else what happens is the offer will be revoked. Then it is fictitious name. Now when I told you about fictitious name, there are many people who always open their demat account, they open it in some other's name and then they go with it. If any fictitious person is being identified, then what happens is that person will be put in the jail for how many years? 5 years. Now the section 68A that states that any person who makes in a fictitious name for acquiring or subscribing for any share, or induces company to allot, register any transfer of shares to him or any other person in a fictitious name, shall be punishable by imprisonment up to 5 years. So this is very strict. You cannot go with any of the fictitious name or identity. So you should have a genuine, and it should be always transparent, and it should be lawful. See, that these are the things which you people should know. If you feel that I can actually open any account with a fictitious name and I can go with it, if you are caught, then definitely it is how much? Minimum you are supposed to be in the jail for 5 years, because it is the law which has been stated in the Companies Act 2013. Next is revocation of application. Now what is this revocation of application? This is the last stage. Now application for share cannot be revoked until after the expiration of the 5th day after the time of opening of subscription list, except in one case, that is if any reasonable person gives public notice of withdrawal of the consent to the issue of prospectus any applicant can revoke his application, or else what happens is we cannot go for any revocation of application. So there is only one particular which I have given you, that is the condition. If any responsible person gives public notice of withdrawal of the consent to the issue of the prospectus, any applicant can revoke his application. So this is what the last one is, that is the revocation of application. Next one is calls on shares. Now what do you mean by calls on shares? Firstly, you should know that the reputed companies require the applicants to send the full value of the shares along with the application. This is because the Companies Act does not prohibit companies to collect the entire amount at the time of issue itself. But usually what happens is they go for installment. When they go for installment, that is what we call it as the first call, second call, third call. Now in the last session, I have told you about this, what exactly is application money, what is the first call, second call, and so on is all about. So, but the usual practice of the company is to collect. They'll collect a certain percentage of the face value of the shares on application and allotment, and the balance in one or more installment known as calls. So I'll be explaining you about the meaning and definition of call. Now what exactly it is? Now a call may be defined as a demand. Now call may be defined as what? It can be defined as a demand made by the company on its shareholders to pay a PAN or the whole of unpaid balance within a specified time. Now a time will be given and you are supposed to pay for that. Lord Lindley says that the expression call, when he goes with the word called call, it denotes both the demand for the money and also the sum demanded. So that is what Lord Lindley actually explained. So what exactly it is? The call, in the sense, the money which they are demanding for the people were so that they can actually give the shares. Now here there are a few things which you are supposed to know. The first one is time for making the call. Now what is a time which you can actually go for making a call? Now the call can be made at any time. The first thing is what? It can be made at any time during the lifetime of the company or during the course of winding up. During the lifetime, the call should be made by the board of directors, and during the course of winding up, it should be made by the liquidator. Now who's the liquidator? The court will actually decide who the liquidator should be, and then the court itself, they will send the liquidator for winding up of the company. Next is obligatory. Now what does this obligatory means? Now here each shareholder is obliged, that is, a duty is there to pay the amount of call and has when the call is made. But this liability arises only when the call is made and not before. So only when they go for a call you are supposed to do, not before the call. The next one is debt due. Now what is this debt due? When we go with the debt due, please understand, as soon as the call is made, the call amount shall become a debt due from the shareholders to the company. So people should actually, that is a time they have the obligation to pay the money. Consequence of default. Now what are the consequences you are supposed to face if there is a default? Now in a shareholder, if a shareholder fails to pay the call amount, the company can enforce payment of the amount together with interest or can forfeit the shares. They can actually cancel the shares. But what usually happens is they go with the interest, that is the amount which they are supposed to pay plus the interest which the company actually levies to the shareholders. Call and other payment. Now when we go with the payments, what are the other payments? Now first you should know a call is different from other payment made by the shareholder. The amount paid on application and allotment are not calls. Similarly, if a company requires the shareholders to pay the entire amount either on application or on allotment, it is not a call under this Act. So what exactly it is? That is, the amount paid on application and allotment are not calls. So similarly, if a company requires the shareholders to pay the entire amount either on application or on allotment, it is not a call. So what exactly it is here, please understand. A call I have defined and I have told you what exactly a call is. It is the demand which the company is asking the shareholders to pay for the unpaid amount. Then you have the procedures for making a call. Now what are the procedures? The first one here is generally the procedure for making calls is incorporated in the articles of most company. If the company has its own article, it should follow the provision of its article. If not, the regulation specified in table A. Now articles in the sense AOA, article of association. I have told you table A, B, C, what exactly it is. Table A of the act shall apply. The following provisions of table A can be noted at this stage. The first one is the power to make calls generally vests in the board of directors. So who will actually go with it? The board of directors will go for it. The call should be made by passing a resolution. Now I've told you about ordinary resolution as well as the special resolution at the meeting of the board. So the first one is the board of directors should actually go for it. The second one is we are supposed to go with the special resolution or ordinary resolution are there. In that we are supposed to make a resolution of it. And the third one, when we go with it, the call money, when we go with the call money, should not exceed 50% of the face value. Please understand, it should not exceed 50% of the face value of the share at one time. At one time, we should not exceed more than 50%. However, company may have their own articles and raise this limit. Now only when they have their own article, and if they want to raise the limit, they are supposed to mention it in the article. There must be at least 30 days interval. How much? 30 days interval between two successive calls. Now first call, second call, third call, right? You should have how many gap? 30 days interval. That is a minimum. When a call is made, a letter known as call of letter or call notice should be sent to all the shareholders of the same class. Now you have the shareholders, right? So you are supposed to actually send a notice to them. Now I've told you also that how a notice is actually given. In a notice, what all should be there? Please watch session 1 and 2, you will get to know this. The notice should also specify the amount of the call. Now in that notice, you are supposed to specify what exactly the amount should be there, place for the payment, etc. And you should actually send at least 14 days before the last date for payment. So you need to actually give a notice, and I have told you in the previous sessions about what exactly the notice are, how notice is given, what is there in the notice, all the content I have told you. Now here you are supposed to give them 14 days prior to the last date of the payment. And last here, when you go with it, that is the board of directors, only the board of directors, they can revoke. They have the power to revoke or postpone the call after it is made. So there are provision where a board of directors can go for this. After that, we have the 8th point, that is joint shareholders or jointly and severely liable for payment of calls. If a member fails to pay call money, he is liable to pay interest not exceeding the rate specified in the articles or terms of issues. The directors are free to waive the payment of interest. Now, this interest is there, right? Now, it is in the hands of directors whether they will charge it for the shareholders or they can go for waive off. If any member desires to pay the call money in advance, the directors may at their discretion accept the and pay interest for the exceeding the rate of specified in the article. Now again, I'm telling you here, that is the directors, right? Only the directors, they have all the powers here. And the last one is a defaulting member. When we go with this defaulting member, please understand, the defaulting member will not have any voting right until the call money is given. Now, after the call money is given, then he will again retain his voting power. So, these are the procedures to follow for making a call. Now, here students have given you the entire explanation about how a call is, what a call is all about, the procedure which we are supposed to go for it. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.